Come to Edit, come down to Free Transform and Scale, and I'm going to hold my Shift key as I pull out. And we're just going to pull the canvas so that it will sit just outside of those guides that we pulled on either edge. You can see that right now mine is just sitting on two edges over the guidelines, and I'm going to click OK to this transformation and then come over to my Move tool. That free transformation is evenly distributed. So at this point I am going to apply a free transformation around every edge to stretch the canvas to accommodate that 2 inches. So I'm going to come down to my marquee tool, make sure that I'm selected on the rectangular marquee, and I'm just going to select that top portion of the canvas, and I'm going to come back up to Edit, Free Transform, and just drag that portion of the image up past the edge of my canvas. And again, I'm going to click OK and apply that free transformation, and now I'm just going to go around the canvas and do the same thing to all of the other edges. So Edit, Free Transform, and I'm just going to pull that edge of the canvas down slightly around and past that extra 2 inches. So here I'm doing the left side, again Edit, Free Transform, pulling on that center anchor and pulling it so that it's just past the side of the image. So I'm going to click OK, and one final time on the right hand side of the canvas, Edit, Free Transform, pulling that center pull bar, and clicking OK to apply the transformation. So there you go, we have now accommodated a digital stretch around the sides of all of the panels. You can see that the side of that image does become a little bit distorted, but remember these 4 guides are sitting at the edge of the front face of each of the panels, so they will remain untouched. The next thing that we're going to do is to add a few extra guides that are just going to show us where each of the panels will be split before we go ahead and do the split. So now in preparation for adding those extra guides, I'm just going to zoom in all the way so that I can see every inch there on the top of my ruler bar, and I'm going to drag a guide on either side of that guide by 2 inches. So right now it is sitting on the 12 mark, so I'm going to pull a guide at 10 and 14. And do note that now the edge is accommodating that extra 2 inches, so the 0 mark that is the front face of our canvas, so 0 to 10 inches, is now 2 to 12 inches. So once again we're going to pull a guide 2 inches on either side of each of those predetermined split marks. So I'm coming over to the 20 and the 24. For the second split, I'm holding down Shift and letting go of my mouse. So now I'll just explain what's going to happen here. We are going to have 3 equal panels, and this blue mark right here is going to denote the edge of the front face of the first panel, while this blue mark is the other edge of that front face. As we have already determined, this mark right here is the edge that will be wrapped around the side of the canvas, and likewise this mark will be the edge of the other side of the canvas that will be stretched around the stretcher bar. So that's how we're going to accommodate our splits. I'm going to zoom back out, and what I'm going to do now is start cropping down one panel at a time and saving each of those files separately. So I'm going to come over to my toolbar and select my crop tool, and just as I had explained before, what we're going to do is crop from edge to edge, the edges that are going to accommodate the split. And once again, this is going to be the edge of the left side of the front face of our canvas, and this is going to be the edge of the right side of the front face of our canvas. This guide is for our center panel, not part of this first panel or the left panel. So I'm going to apply this crop, I'm going to hit OK, and now I'm going to save this file as, so File, Save As, and I'm going to save it as split panel under -1. I am going to save it to my desktop, and I will save it as a JPEG. So we'll click Save, and next we're going to make sure that our JPEG is the highest quality, which is a quality 12, or we could do that by sliding this toggle bar all the way to the right. So we'll click OK there, and this has now been saved to our desktop. So the next thing we need to do is to go back to our Layers panel right above that crop, and we will be given our full image once again. So now we're going to apply the crop for our center panel, and I'm going to just click on my Move tool for just a second so I have an arrow. On the right, this is the front face of the middle panel, and this is the other front face edge of the middle panel. While right here, this guide is the left edge that we will be cropping to, that will accommodate the stretcher bar, and this is the right edge of the panel that will be accommodating the stretcher bar. So now I'm going to grab my crop tool, making sure that the edge of it is lined up at that top ruler with the 10. So I'm going to look for that little dotted line, and there it goes. So I'm going to pull to either side of those predetermined guide marks, select that crop, and once again go up to File, Save As, and we're going to save it as Split Panel.